boy, Benny. You ever been in a toxic relationship and this person, you're just so sick of them that you break up with them and you're like, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with it. I'm done with everyone, right? I just want to be alone. I want to be single, okay? I don't want anybody in my life. I would rather nobody than you, okay? You crazy witch. That's actually what the Republican Party is saying to Nikki Haley right now. And it's what the Democrat Party is saying to Joe Biden. Oh, it's delicious. Nikki Haley, just a few weeks ago, lost to none of the above in Nevada. There's this weird little thing that Nevada does where Donald Trump wasn't on the ballot during a primary instead of their caucus. And so it was just Nikki Haley on the ballot with some other candidates. And she lost to none of the above. That's how many people voted. Nikki Haley lost 61% of the vote. Was none of the above. Pretty delicious right here. Here's the actual results, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally breaking up with someone saying, I want to be alone. Whatever it is, lady, I don't want you. Okay? All right? Joe Biden just had a similar and parallel situation in Michigan yesterday. Oh, it's too good. Okay? There's so many good things that are happening right now. Biden loses to uncommitted. This is the Democrat Party version of none of the above. In Dearborn, Michigan primary, alarm bells for Joe, 81, as more than 100,000 voters voted against him in a Democrat-only primary. More than 100,000 people in Michigan voted uncommitted in protest of Joe Biden. The protest vote was more than 5 times what Obama received in 2012. Results show how Biden's handling of Gaza, serious consequences, the result. Joe Biden is crumbling in Michigan, a must-win state for him. Look at this. Joe Biden, this is in Dearborn, Michigan. Joe Biden got 40% of the vote, and 56% of the vote went to none of the above, uncommitted. Oh, man. And then everyone danced. Okay? Got it. Amazing times. This happened actually live on CNN, and the CNN anchor gasped as Joe Biden, as thousands of people in Michigan voted against Joe Biden for literally no one instead of Joe Biden. Check this out from CNN. CNN reporter audibly gasps on hot mic after having to report that Biden is losing major Democrat city in Michigan by 50 points to an unnamed person. So, wow.
What Joe Biden received, again, forgive me, 1,141 votes. Dean Phillips, 54 votes. And uncommitted, make sure I get this right, 3,703 votes. So that's a wow. If you look at it this way, this is 23%. And this is 75%.
So that's a wow.
This is just the city of Dearborn, but that is where the biggest pocket of the Muslim American, the Arab American population. This is a place President Biden carried big time in 2020. This is key to his chances of defeating Donald Trump in Michigan again.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty. Over 100,000 Michigan voters choose uncommitted or none of the above over Joe Biden. So they didn't vote for another candidate. They just voted against Joe Biden. Michigan does not have the open primary system, which is so suicidal and stupid. You should be a registered Democrat or a registered Republican to vote inside of these contests. At around 9 p.m. Eastern time, as soon as the polls closed, everyone was having to call the race for Donald Trump. He was winning so handily. The salt flowing on MSNBC.
Time, NBC News projects that Donald Trump will win the Michigan Republican primary. That is our election projection. Donald Trump, the projected winner of the Michigan primary. NBC News can also...
Donald Trump posting on social media. Thank you, Michigan. Woo. The cheers are so loud. This is obviously footage from Michigan. Dan Scavino is Donald Trump's social media manager. So pretty much the digital voice of Donald Trump online, Dan Scavino. This is footage from the car, people cheering and waving. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump himself last night posting, Nikki got trounced losing the great state of Michigan by over 42 points. Looking forward to Super Tuesday, where she is going to do even worse if that's possible. I'm leading in every state by over 60 points. People don't like her, and they know, as per the polls, she can't beat Biden or any Democrat because she is a Democrat. She is one of them. And this is what really has Democrats terrified. What really has Democrats horrified are numbers like this. Look at this. This is what I think is particularly important. This is with over 95% of the votes in, ladies and gentlemen. So this is like at the very end. Joe Biden got 600,000 votes. Donald Trump got 755,000 votes. Donald Trump got 150,000 more votes than Joe Biden. Between 150 and 140,000 more votes than Joe Biden in Michigan. So what does that mean? Especially when you look at these uncommitted 100,000 votes. What does that mean? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that means, again, as we said many times, that Donald Trump is polling outside of the margin of fraud. And this actually plays out in the polls here. Look at Donald Trump. Real Clear Politics spread. Up 5 points nearly. Some of these polls have Donald Trump up nearly double. Detroit News has Donald Trump up 8 points in Michigan. So it's just absolute panic time. It's panic time. So the Democrat Party is imploding all around the country. And some of the smartest people in the Trump campaign, Stephen Miller being one of them, Stephen Miller, Trump speechwriter, and really the brains behind so much of the good things that happened in Trump term one, saying the Democrat Party is like, the wheels have fallen off. They're just being abandoned by their voters. Watch.
Well, I do think there's a very real concern on the part of the Biden campaign and the Democrat Party that voters are so uninspired and so worried about Joe Biden that they will stay home. And then you add on top of that, of course, the problem with Arab voters in Michigan who are demanding that Joe Biden push a radical left ceasefire policy with the war in Gaza, which, of course, would be unacceptable to most American voters. And so they're caught there between the radical base and mainstream public opinion. But I do want to agree with Ari when I say, look, this is the party that dragged John Fetterman over the finish line at a point in time when he couldn't even campaign through aggressive, robust ballot harvesting efforts. The Republican Party needs to understand as they head into 2024, or as Joe Biden calls it, his 2020 campaign, they need to understand how mischievous, how determined, how relentless Democrats are going to be in filling up every single drop box all around the country with mail-in ballots. And they must have a strategy to counter the Democrats' mail-in ballot machine, which is truly a leviathan.
Newt Gingrich, somebody who's been, of course, a staunch Trump ally. His wife served in the administration. Newt Gingrich has the ear of Donald Trump and vice versa, saying that Donald Trump's second term is going to be much, much better than the first because, well, he has good people on his side this time. Watch.
Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. All right, let's look first at the Republican primary. One has to ask, especially after Saturday night and tonight, why is Nikki Haley hanging around in this race? I think at some point there will be a lot of resentment among Republicans that she is literally forcing Donald Trump, who will be the nominee, into spending money he otherwise could be using in a general election campaign. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I don't think she's going to force President Trump to spend anything because he's going to beat her in every single primary in the country. That's just going to happen. Second, the longer she stays in, the more she will alienate Republicans. This theory that she's hanging around in case something happens to Trump so she can then be the choice. No MAGA Republican, no Trump delegate is ever going to pick Nikki Haley. They will pick any of a dozen or 50 Republicans who are acceptable, but they aren't going to pick her. And you saw that in Nevada, where she lost by 2-1 by none of these candidates. I mean, when none of these candidates beat you by 2-1, there's a hint that maybe you're in the wrong game this year. I hope she'll drop out. I hope she'll become part of the effort to beat Joe Biden. I do not think it's helpful to have her out there saying nasty things about the Republican nominee. And as far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump tonight is the Republican nominee. This is over, and the issue is to focus on the general election and why Trump would be a dramatically better president in 2025 than Joe Biden.
And, of course, buckling into sort of the theme of Democrats abandoning Joe Biden, here is a clip from my old company, sweet, loving memories of Newsmax, going onto the streets of the Bronx in New York, the bluest of all boroughs, and saying, hey, what do you like, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Responses, baby. These responses. Hot fire. It's panic time. Let's go.
The Bronx is the bluest of New York City's boroughs and the only borough with a Hispanic majority. President Biden got 83% of the vote here in 2020. But now the Biden campaign is seeing polls coming out saying President Trump is gaining traction with voters of color, even younger voters. So I came to the Bronx to put a face on the numbers, and I was shocked by what I heard on the streets. Do you think that President Biden is doing a good job with the economy?
No, he's not doing nothing to support nobody.
Is he doing a good job? Yes or no?
No. I can see we're all going to be in the streets homeless.
Biden and his press secretary said that prices are going down. Is that your experience or is that not true?
No, that is definitely not true. Prices are definitely going up. I used to go across the street to Fordham to go get me a meal. I can't even get me a meal because that meant $20.
Minority communities, we're not seeing the improvement. There's inflation with everything, food, gas, insurance prices. I mean, you name it.
Bidenomics is not working. It's just a complete mess. It's a disaster. Especially here in New York City, we're feeling it very hard.
If you could say anything to Biden right now, who says that the economy is improving, especially in black and brown communities, what would you say to him?
That's lies. I believe that's lies. Heavy lies on that, for sure.
Do you think that somebody else besides Biden should be president?
Yes,
next time?
Of course. Bring back Trump.
Tell me why.
We had money. We had money when Trump was president.
Free my son Trump. Free my son Trump. Trump 2024, everybody. Trump 2024.
That's crazy. And we're here in the Bronx.
I'm gonna vote for Trump if he runs because I feel like it was much better when he was here financially for everybody. Not just me, for everybody.
I'm definitely voting for Donald Trump. He made sure we had money in our pockets. He was for the people. He made sure we had what we needed. I feel like everything will go back to how it was. I mean, ever since he's been out of office, everything's declined.
When Trump was president, my life was good. Economical-wise, I was doing so much better.
They're saying it's going to be Biden-Trump, so who will you vote for?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna have to go for Trump. Sorry.
I'm going to go for Trump. Trump. Always Trump.
Here, let me see. Who are you voting for?
Trump.
Feeling the pain of price hikes is one thing, but the show of open support for former President Donald J. Trump on the streets of the Bronx was very surprising. And it's the sort of thing that has Biden campaign strategists looking very carefully at the messaging around Bidenomics as we get closer to 2024. Reporting for Newsmax from the streets of the Bronx, New York, I'm Kara Castronova.